I'm so glad that you have got together to organize the Congress for Social Responsibility. In this period where greed is celebrated as the highest virtue and the highest expression of humanity, it is important to pause, reflect, and shift, recognizing that we as human beings are embedded in a web of life, so we need ecological responsibility. We are embedded in a human community, and we need social responsibility, particularly to those who are disadvantaged. Gandhi had told us long ago that the earth has enough for everyone's needs, but not for a few people's greed. And in my 40 years of work for the ecological movement, for sustainability, for justice, I've realized that you cannot separate ecological sustainability from social justice. After all, everything we need comes from the earth. And when the earth's resources are conserved and shared more equitably, everyone has more. The real cake is the cake that the earth bakes. And yet we have created the illusion that the more we destroy the earth, the more we privatize the resources of the earth, the more we share inequitably in her resources, that is growth and that is progress. And since the more powerful players can appropriate and extract more faster, they have been defined as the more privileged citizens in a globalized world. And corporations have emerged as all-powerful in every sector, particularly food. Seed, by its very nature, is designed to be shared. The bees and the butterflies pollinate to make a sharing through that pollination. Generations of the past have shared the seeds with us, so we can share them with the future. Within farming communities, farmers have always shared seed. Today, seed sharing and saving has been made a crime by defining seed as intellectual property, as patented. For me, this is so very wrong, and that's why I started Navdanya in 1987. And Navdanya has a commitment for social responsibility to save and share the gifts of biodiversity today and in the future. From the highest level to the smallest level, from the planet itself to the tiniest of microbes, we need to develop the culture of sharing. Sharing doesn't make less, sharing increases. When I share seed, I have seed and my neighbor has seed. When corporations privatize seed, nobody has seed. And then farmers get into debt for purchased seed every season, non-renewable seed, non-renewable seed. The result is debt, and debt in its worst form has created an epidemic of farmer suicides in our country, in India. Since 1995, more than 284,000 farmers have taken their lives. This is a culture of social irresponsibility. Social responsibility and ecological responsibility in the area of food means that we care for the earth. We care for the soil, we care for the seeds, we care for the farmers, we care for the health of our children. That collective good that comes out of good farming is beneficial for all. It's beneficial for the species that are not killed because of poisons. It's beneficial for the farmers who don't lose their incomes to pay for costly inputs. And of course, it's beneficial for all of humanity who can get safe, affordable, organic food. How we make that shift collectively depends on how we perceive social responsibility and how we act on that responsibility. A good agriculture, a responsible farming, ensures that we take care of the well-being of the soil. We increase the health of the soil, and a healthy soil gives us healthy plants. Healthy plants give us healthy humans. Healthy humans create healthy societies and prosperous societies. We have fragmented the world so much. And then we've made the world dependent on external inputs, external poisons in farming, external direction in our minds on how to think, advertising, consumerism. We need to go beyond that for social responsibility. When we think consciously about the fact that the food that is grown in the world should be shared by all humans, we will create food systems to ensure that the last child and the last woman gets food. That's the way to end hunger. And because food is the currency of life, food is the web of life, the more we ensure sustainability, the more we ensure social justice in the area of food. And one of the myths that has been propagated is that large industrial farms feed the world. And then every time you see an advertisement of a farmer, it's a man driving a tractor. The reality is, it's women who feed the world. Most farmers around the world are women. Most farmers in India are definitely women. Most processors and transformers of food are women. We celebrate the chefs, but the real chefs are in the kitchen. Who are the people who make everyday decisions? Decisions when prices of food go higher. It's women. So we need a women-centered food system. Social responsibility requires gender justice. You cannot have social responsibility if violence against women grows, if invisibility of women in the creativity and productivity of food grows. In the tragedy of farmer suicides, we have tried to create a system where widows take charge of their fate. We've created fibers of freedom and seeds of hope. So we have seed banks, and farmers are not dependent on buying patented GMO BT cottonseed. We've created gardens for the widows, and now the widows are generating a livelihood with all the knowledge they have of processing, creating food sovereignty that's in their hand, healthy foods for themselves, their children, and even for the market. Justice requires democracy. Democracy requires decentralization and diversity. And these are the principles on the basis of which we have built Navdanya over the last 2.5 decades. From seed to table, we try and imbue the entire food system with love and care and compassion. Care for the earth and all her being by practicing ecological organic farming and in fact producing more food. Our report, Health Per Acre, shows that the more ecologically intensive and biodiversity intensive your food system is, the more we get rid of the poisons that are a threat, but we actually improve the nutrition output per acre. There are many, many ways where every day we can bring shifts and we can bring change. 50% of the food in the world is being wasted because we've developed these massive long-distance chains. And in long-distance transport of food, which is perishable, there has to be a throwaway culture. We can't afford to throw away 50% of the food when 1 billion people go hungry. That is why we must make denser chains closer to where the food is produced. After all, everyone must eat. It makes no sense to grow food in one place, send it 1,000 miles away, then re-import it back at very, very high cost. It's contributing to climate change. It's also vulnerable to climate change. Lower transport distances, the 0-kilometer culture that is evolving around the world is celebrating localization, not just to reduce the ecological footprint, but to create more knowledge of where does our food come from, who grew it, how did it grow. We need to reinvigorate democracy and freedom, and that can only happen when we live it. It is not something in which we give away our responsibility for 5 years to corrupt politicians. Every day of our lives, we must practice our freedoms. We must practice our democracy. And that is what creates the culture of sharing. I invite you all to join us in this amazing movement in our times for seed freedom and food freedom, through which we practice earth democracy. Identify the laws that perpetuate injustice and give yourselves the courage to say these laws are not worth obeying because we must obey higher laws. and identify the people who are creating a culture of ecological sustainability, especially in food. Find your local farmer, find your local chef, honor them on 16th of October, World Food Day. They are the real heroes. We need to celebrate them more. And the more we celebrate those who take care of the earth and who take care of community, the more we will enhance our own capacities to be responsible. Responsibility can be fun, it's not punishment. Let's enhance it.